But it's not a thing about making it accurate. It's a thing about making it feel right. If it's an accident that's an error that feels good, then you leave it in. You want those. It's not a thing about making it accurate. It's a thing about making it feel right. But it's not a thing about making it accurate. It's not about getting all the errors out. It's about getting it to feel right. If it's an accident that's an error that feels good, then you leave it in. You want those.
Hello, and welcome to another day of NGS action. Now, today we're gonna go to we're gonna be going over to Division A between Gen.M Esports and the High Inquisitors. And yeah, so it is gonna be kind of a fake game, just to kind of put it lightly, because if we take a look over at the standings here, High Inquisitors currently in 4th at 27, Gen.M currently in 8th at 13, and this is the last game of Division A, so Gen.M Esports, they are fully locked in 8th place. They can win every map, they can lose every map, it doesn't matter to them. The only potential thing that could happen is if the High Inquisitors get a domination, they do go up to 3rd place, and they do need the domination. The tiebreak does go in favor of Gilly Shark, but I don't know how much of a difference that really makes. I don't know if either of the teams really do care about that, but we'll see. But the map Big and Ban has already happened, and the map was picked over by the High Inquisitors. So it was going to be Volskaya and Cursed Hollow getting banned by the High Inquisitors, Garden of Terror and Alterac Pass getting banned out by Gen.M Esports, with the first map of the day being Towers of Doom. Now we are still waiting for every player to join, and we will have to see if everyone does join. There does appear to be some players missing, but we'll see how it goes. If not, there's a chance that they might just do kind of a pseudo scrim. So at the very least, we'll be able to cast something today. But we'll have to see how it goes. Hopefully everyone does show up, and hopefully we can get that game going. But kind of on that note, I also wanted to add, once again, I am casting today, not casting tomorrow. If anyone did see me pick up a cast that was completely on accident, I misclicked. And I did try to get taken off that cast as soon as possible. I am busy tomorrow with the playoffs of a League of Legends cast. So I am looking forward to that. And that will be my final one of the season with that league. So after that, I will be available for Saturdays. And with the NGS playoffs coming up soon, I am pretty excited for that. And I mean, with the NGS playoffs coming up, there's going to be so many good games. Division A has been a pretty close season. Heroic's been looking really good as well. There's definitely a little bit of tears over in that div, but I mean, I think the divs that I'm looking forward to the most are probably going to be Heroic, just, you know, it's Heroic. Then Div A and B West and Div E. I think those have been by far the closest of the divisions this season. So even every single quarterfinals match, every single thing before the main semifinals, before the semifinals, there's going to be a lot of fun to cast. There's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And hopefully I can get a couple of them under my belt. I've already gotten my first playoff game last night for Division E, but we'll see how it goes. Depends on the scheduling, depends on everything else that's going on, and obviously it depends how much the other casters are going to be picking up for the live cast. I find that it always has been like that, and not just in NGS, but really in any league, where at the start of the season, everyone's like super into it, then middle of the season, people start falling off. But once playoffs come back, that's when all the casters are coming back. That's when everyone wants to watch the games again. So looking forward to the ending of this season. This should be an absolute banger. And we do have that tournament going on May 19th. For those of you that haven't seen, in the NGS, there is a sign-up available. So hopefully we can get that going. If anyone wants, well, I'm sure it will get going, but if you wanted to join, I believe the player sign-ups are now available. It is under the announcements in the NGS Discord, so give it a look, and maybe you'll be able to play in it as well. I believe it is going to be just a one-day big tournament, so it should be a ton of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm really looking forward to the 10-year anniversary of Heroes of the Storm. Now, my Hopium levels have been very high recently, because, I mean, okay, it's one thing that we were getting balance patches, right? But there was a couple small changes on this PTR that I think really changed the nature of this game. Just because there's new talents. This is no longer a change of balance. This is now new content being added. Now, it's not a massive thing or anything like that, but it is something I'm definitely looking forward to. It's something I definitely want to see happen. So hopefully HOTS 3.0 will be a thing. Hopefully we'll finally get some support from Microsoft, Blizzard, Activision, and whatever other big brand names we have going on behind there. But we'll have to see. But let me just take a check here. But hopefully we can get started. Okay, we are waiting on one player. I know we are starting a little bit late, but hopefully we can get this match going. But like I said, either way, at the end of the day, this game doesn't really matter. This is kind of like not entirely a pseudo scrim, but because like I said, High Inquisitors, they could jump up to that 3rd seed if they do get a domination. And if the matchup is something that they would like better during the playoffs, during that first round, have like a bit of an easier path to the top 4, though, I don't think there really is that big of a difference between playing the 4th and 5th team. Both Magnitude, Epicenter, and Can't Pause, Won't Pause are pretty strong in my opinion, so I don't think it'll be that big of a problem. I think either team they play should be fine. But yeah, in the meanwhile, we're here over in the waiting room, just kind of hanging around. Hopefully we can get that started. We have 9 players currently in the lobby. And I believe we are having a 10th player join. I don't even know. We'll see how it goes. Trying to think of what other fun things I could tell you all about. I don't really think there's too much. I mean, I guess I am in the middle of a move. I've learned how to make jerky. I think that was a pretty fun one. Yeah, we got a dehydrator. Tried a couple recipes right now. I'm making some beef jerky. Making 2 different sets. One from ground beef and one from, like, proper sliced beef. And yeah, been learning a little bit with a marinade as well. It's fun, actually. It's surprisingly easy. But it does look like... One second, I just want to get confirmation, but I do believe this will be a forfeit, so we'll be casting a pseudo scrim. Alright, so there's not really going to be... There's not going to be anything for this game. So as far as the results, it is 2-0 to Gen.M Esports. They do get the win. They do get the forfeit victory. I'm still going to cast a pseudo scrim just because why not? The players are here. They're getting ready. They may as well just have fun, you know? And I already was booked to cast tonight, so I'm looking forward to get that cast going. And also, for everyone in chat, it is Greek Fire's birthday, so be sure to wish him a happy birthday. Let me just change some logos around to make this a bit more obvious. What can I even use here? One second, I'm trying to do some fancy stuff. Did I do this? Yeah, that kind of works. Okay, you were hoping to watch the show? There's still going to be a show. Don't get me wrong. There's still going to be a play. I believe 3 of the players from High Inquisitors are still going to be here, so we are still going to be playing a nice series. But just letting you know, for the actual results, it is a 2-0 for Gen.M Esports. So, yeah, we will be having cast going on, but again, like I said, I'm just going to be calling it Gen.M Esports versus Scrim Team 2. It's kind of a mix of a couple teams. It is 3 players of High Inquisitors, still most of their team. I'm mostly just removing the logo and their team name just for clarification that the actual series isn't there. Let's change the... Let me just change the title as well. Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed as well, but you know what? The show must go on. We still must get our games. We still must get our cast.
Towers of Doom.
But most importantly, we're still going to be able to get the games. And right now, we are going to be going over to Towers of Doom for game number 1 between Gen.M Esports and Scrim Team 2. That's what I've decided to call them. I'll ask them if they want their own proper name afterwards, but... just doesn't seem right calling it that, but we're still going to be doing predictions. We're still going to be doing all that fun stuff. We're still going to have some not even NGS action, but just some nice Heroes of the Storm action. But yeah, first ban is going to be coming through already. It is going to be that Garrosh getting banned away by Scrim Team 2. And I mean, the way I see it is like, this is still going to be a good experience for both these two teams. And like I said at the start, the results of this game just didn't really matter anyway. Both teams are still going to be in playoffs. Gen.M Esports, no matter what's going to be in that 8th seed. This does lock in High Inquisitors in seed 4. But, I mean, I don't know if they care too much about getting to seed 3. Nullius High Inquisitors were not able to field 5 players today, so they did have to forfeit. But instead, both teams kind of agreed to do a pseudo scrim that they're okay with me casting, so we're just going to be having something like that. It's more of a for fun game now. But the next bans are coming through, and it looks like both teams just hate tanks. Diablo, Stitches, and Joanna going to get banned away. And then Diablo Chromie going to be the first pick. You know what? I should probably put this in a pinned message.
Mecha Tassadar online. Change is upon us.
I'm just gonna pin that. Let's do it for an hour. That should be more than enough time. All right. So there we go. Anyway, back to the draft. So it is going to be Tassadar locked in for Kobo, and Cawthon locked in for
the alliance above all.
Dahaka locked in for Cawthon. There we go. That's why I was being a little bit confused. But yeah, some pretty fun picks already. Anduin for Blue Abyss and Asmodan for Patience. Now, Asmodan's actually getting not a massive buff, but is getting some buffs over in this next patch. It's currently on PTR, definitely not live yet, but the trample change specifically is going to be fun. And it has been tested, by the way. I know a lot of people were thinking that it's 25% cooldown reduction per hero, but no, it's just 25%. Just going to be 25% cooldown reduction overall, regardless of if you hit 1 or 5, as long as you hit at least 1. But yeah, the next part of the ban phase is going to be getting started here. Blaze banned away by Gen.M Esports. Neither side has picked a tank, so they can absolutely continue banning away even more tanks, and that is the plan. They're going to get rid of ETC on the side of Scrim Team 2. I don't even know why there's Scrim Team 2. There's no Scrim Team 1. I have no idea how he came up with that name. The more I look at it, the less sense it makes, but you know what? That's the way it goes. That's the way it's going to be, so that's just the way she goes. But yeah, regardless, it is going to be Anubrak locked in for Infofox and Leo Rice locked in for Greymane. Or Anubrak locked in for Infofox and Greymane locked in for Leo Rice. Sorry, I'm just getting message like on the side as well. I'm losing focus. I need to focus up. I need to bring it all together. But yeah, there we go. The first tank is going to be picked, and the Anubrak actually is going to be pretty good. Asmodan is pretty squishy, doesn't actually have a lot of abilities to move around. Though with Anduin's Leap of Faith, it will give a little bit of safety, but still going to be a little bit dangerous. But Varian and Falstad locked in for Sir Noble and Goku. This is going to be an interesting composition because this is 3 DPSs locked in for Scrim Team 2. So they do have the tank and the Varian, they do have the healer in Blue Abyss. But I'm assuming, especially for towers, this is going to be, I want to say Asmodan in the offlane. Could be Falstad as well, but I know Asmodan is really good at pushing down lanes. Has a lot of push pressure, can help in side lanes as well. And Towers of Doom is definitely one of those lanes where you kind of want to double soak. And I think Asmodan would do that better than Falstad, even though flight is a thing. But Rhaegar locked in as the 10th pick for Greek Fire. So they're going to have that big healer. They're going to be ready for these team fights. And draft number 1 is done. And with that, we're going to be headed immediately into game number 1. All right, but here we are in series number 1 here.
Battle.
between Gen.M Esports and Scrim Team 2. We are going over to what's it called, Towers of Doom, and we are getting ready now. What is interesting to me is I'm wondering for this side, obviously these are players that don't typically play together. This isn't a team that's like practiced or anything. Some of them have practiced together, the others practice with each other, but in general this is more of a pickup team that just exists to play with Gen.M Esports right now. But this should be a pretty fun one. I suspect that if there's any chance that teams are going to start doing some little fun trolling things, should be pretty fun to watch here. I think that's what really matters. But it is going to be the Lightning Rod build, interestingly enough. Dishonorable Discharge for Goku. As Goku immediately walking forward. Going to dodge out on the Impale. But going to be a lot of fun to see what these players do. If there's going to be a bit of a clown fiesta going on this game. But just speaking a little bit early for now. Whoops, forgot to turn off. Infofox. Just throwing out the trash talk immediately. But yeah, first move is going to be their first Scrim Team 2. They're going to be able to get into the bot lane. And now they're going to be able to clear up this lane first. They're going to have first move. Infofox trying to walk up to get some of the soak. And with the shield, with the healing, will be more than fine to do that. But interestingly enough, Scrim Team 2, they're still able to get pretty good pressure as Goku almost getting jumped upon. The Impale actually lands onto 3, but Goku was already saved by Blue Abyss. The Leap of Faith was there to prevent the full engage. And with the variant still not level 4, Sir Noble does need a little bit of time before they become an actual tank. It is one of the main weaknesses of that variant, especially in that early, in that little bit of the early game, as they do manage to land the Chastise. Cawthon actually forced to go down to stasis. Infofox has to help out as well just to get that peel. But now Leo Rice jumping on a Goku. Goku starting to get pretty low, but the flash heal will come out from Blue Abyss, and they will be fine as Leo Rice tries to roll in, but not enough range. Flight gonna get used by Goku just to get over into this bot lane, as there's actually a solo kill up in the top side. Patience gets first blood, but Leo Rice is there, and I believe Patience should go down here. Greymane's pretty good at that, and not able to get the final click. That is so unfortunate. So Patience will be able to back away, gets that 1-for-0 in the top lane, will be able to reset as well. And at the flip side, over in this bot lane, they are able to defend against that Sapper Camp. It isn't going to explode as Infofox takes a huge amount of burst damage there as well. And now Goku, Blue Abyss, and really the entire squad of Scrim Team 2, they're going to be down here. They're going to be pushing out this siege camp. They're going to take down these sappers. And doesn't look like Gen.M Esports are going to be invading. Infofox is kind of poking a little bit, but not going to be doing a full-on engage here. But the wave is crashing onto the wall. Going to be doing a little bit of damage there. Not too much, but every little bit adds up, as we all know. And I forgot to mention, but it is going to be greed. And I think that does make a lot of sense, as the Sapper Camp was taken over in this top side and will crash into this top lane tower. But now Goku pretty low on mana, actually. Trying to walk up, but not going to be able to get anything done here. Now they have the taunt, and Infofox is going to get burst down quite a bit. That Dragon's Breath letting double. Same with the Chastise, but they don't have any more cooldowns to follow up. Leo Rice going aggressive, going to get the kill on a Goku. Now Blue Abyss is the next target, and Leo Rice still DPS, and Kurama going to get hit by the drag, and Sir Noble is the final survivor, trying to back away, and 200 HP. The Impale does land, but the protection is there, and they will be able to survive, but that is going to be 2 alters going into Scrim Team 2. So Gen.M Esports, they definitely take the lead on that one. There's a big wave pushing on the top side. However, Cawthon is already going to be here, is going to be able to catch it before it crashes into the wall, and that XP is missed permanently. But Infofox getting jumped on, and this is the Lightning Rod build. Already at 7 stacks, and how does it work? It's 1% every single time it hits 3. Sorry, I just don't see that build super often. And I am curious about it for this game as well. I actually thought that Creed of the Hunter would be pretty solid here, but they have the taunt, and they're able to take down the healer. Greek Fire gonna be going down. They're gonna be able to steal away the siege camp as well. So very well played by Scrim Team 2. As now they're looking towards Kobo. Kobo just getting a little bit of poke down, and is kind of going that mixed build. Not gonna be going full Shockwave build. Has a little bit of everything. Just that standard Tassadar build coming out from Kobo. Now a bit of trading in the mid lane as Goku and Leo Rice trying to trade. And 80 HP on Leo Rice, 200 on Goku. Just need a little bit more, and that's the danger of that lightning rod build. It will be able to stack up really quickly, and I believe if they fight again in the exact same circumstance, this time Goku would win. Goku now has an extra 4% damage on that lightning rod, so it's going to increase the DPS pretty heavily, as now they have the taunt onto Inquisitors, and they're immediately able to take them down. Greek Fire also gets hit by the Chastise, but all the cooldowns were used just to take down that Anubrak, take down that frontlining tank. And now they're going to have first move. They're going to start rotating down to the bot lane, looking for Kobo. But again, Kobo already able to mount up and back away to safety. Patience now going to be holding that mid lane, as it's just the single altar. And Kurama should be able to take it for the side of Scrim Team 2. So that's going to be 4 extra damage going into Gen.M Esports. And they are tied now. However, during this, Leo Rice going to once again come up to the top lane and just start taking away that siege camp. Should be a pretty free one for them. Cawthon already has the play up here and even gets the drag onto Patience just to get a little bit more DPS. And actually getting quite a bit of damage done there. 60 stacks already on Greed. 60 on Annihilation. So bit by bit, we'll be getting those stacks. We'll be able to get stronger and stronger as the game goes on. There's a lot of scaling on the side of Scrim Team 2. It is also going to be the Sandblast. It's just going to be a lot of different quests going on. And in general, quests, because they take time to scale, they're not as strong when you get them. But at the same time, once you do get those full stacks, if you are able to get those full stacks, you do become very strong as Inquisitors. Gonna get hit by the taunt. The Chastise isn't gonna land. Just a little bit of slow going on. They already have level 10s on both sides. Inquisitors still playing forward, but not able to get onto a target that they want. It's a cursed bullet. Gonna land onto Sir Noble, but with the well, we'll be able to heal right back, especially with the help of Blue Abyss. But now Goku backs away just in time as Greek Fire and Inquisitors, they were getting ready to jump onto this Falstad over in the mid lane. But the siege camp is spawning. They have the time trap if they need it. But now they're looking at the taunt. They have Inquisitors, but the cleanse is going to be there this time around. And the Tester healing as well. And Inquisitors just going to go win. Now they have the Gust. They have everyone else at Kurama in a pretty bad spot, but we'll be able to back away for now. But the black hole going to keep them locked up. Kurama going to go down. Blue Abyss gets hit by the drag. Will be the second one to follow. As Kobo almost goes down to Goku, but now Sir Noble going to be the next one stunned up. Still trying to back away, and will be able to jump out to actually one of the Scarabs. A very big heads-up play, but either way, that is going to be Kobo getting that extra 4 damage into the core. Now, Patience at least managed to crash a wave and got pretty solid damage over onto this wall, but not going to be enough to take down the bell tower, but bit by bit could be bringing something to pressure with later on in the game. But Gen.M Esports, they're pressuring in that big bottom lane. This is the most important lane over on this map. And they have taken down the entire wall. They have the taunt onto Inquisitors. And the Impale not going to land. And with the Bro Charge, just going to be able to back it up. And now it is about a half-level lead right now for Gen.M Esports. They're doing quite well for themselves. And with the Sapper Camp pushing in, the next Sapper Camp is going to be spawning in 10 seconds. And frankly, they could contest it. They're pretty close to level 13. And with the Sapper Camp pushing in there, it is also going to give them that little bit of pressure. As now they are walking forward. Sir Noble still standing in the front. They have the taunt, but the cleanse is going to be there again. Inquisitors going to be able to just back away. Sir Noble taking quite a bit of poke damage and still jumping on to Inquisitors. Inquisitors still getting DPS down, but the heals from Greek Fire going to be coming out the Sandblast. Almost takes down Inquisitors, but Sir Noble at 300 HP. Kurama at around 600. They're both pretty low. Now the taunt. They have the Gust and the Light Bomb and just everything jumping on top of them. And the Shockwave on the Blue Abyss dealing so much damage. Bit by bit, Gen.M Esports, they are taking over this bottom lane. And a little bit of trading happening over the top side at the same time as Cawthon and Patience just fighting one-on-one there. Now Inquisitors could be in a bad spot. Use the Burrow Charge. Is getting slowed up, but the Cocoon got to get used. And without the taunt, there's just no follow-up available. So Inquisitors will be able to just back away to safety as the 2 altars are spawning up in the top lane. Both sides have their level 13s. Both sides are going to get started on those altars. Goku already here, going to be able to interrupt Greek Fire, going to prevent this from going down. As the Shockwave is going to land onto Goku. Dragonfire as well, coming out over the top. And Goku will be able to at least secure the one on the right side, so that's going to be 4 damage going into Gen.M Esports. as Sir Noble is trying to walk up, but they have the Chastise on it too, and Cawthon is going to be tanked up, but will be able to back away, does have the stasis. Black Hole as well, buying a bit of space, and the Burrow Charge from Infofox, able to land on Goku, but not enough, as the Shock Ray again dealing so much damage to Kurama, and the drag into Sir Noble, but with the Gust, it's going to be able to split the fight up, and that will be it. But and then meanwhile, they are able to use, what is that, Devil's Embrace? Demonic Invasion, close enough, onto that top lane bell tower, so that's a lot of permanent damage dealt. And that's the power of the Azmodan on these maps. It's not about joining the team fights. You will actually be a bit weaker in the team fights. But once you start racing for those structures, you will be able to stay ahead. Once you have that bell tower in your advantage, it's going to keep up the pressure on the map. It's going to make the team fights matter slightly less. But again, both sides looking to contest onto the siege camp over in this bottom lane. Gen.M Esports actually back off of it as Infofox waiting in this brush, looking for the angle, but doesn't look like Scrim Team 2 will bite. And with the Impale, it's not going to be able to land onto anyone quite yet. A little bit of Sandblast poke going to be there. And full stacks, by the way, so it will have the active echoes. But now Infofox going to get rooted up. They're going to get hit with a Chastise. The Cleanse there as well. And we'll get taken down. Now the Gust, Greek Fire, and Kobo in the backline. Light Bomb going to land. Greek Fire going to go down there. Sir Noble will be able to get the final hit of Kobo just in the middle of everyone just trading back and forth. We'll get finished off, and that's a 3-0 for Scrim Team 2, and that's a massive team fight that they desperately needed. They were able to take down Infofox, but then Goku, with that play, able to bring everyone down, and they even have 2 sappers here, going to be able to take down this bell tower to half HP, and they might even be able to finish this off before the altars spawn. The death timers are still quite long, and Gen.M Esports, they're just going to have to give this away. But now Patience over on the top side gets hit by the Ice Lake. Cawthon, one more auto, will be able to at least trade something back on the opposite end of the map. So that will be a 3-for-1 overall from 2 separate plays. But the 5th bell tower now going in favor, or the 4th one I should say, in favor of Scrim Team 2. And now Goku's ready in the top right, Kurama ready in the bottom. With Cawthon and Infofox, they want to contest onto a Blue Abyss. Could be in a bad spot. Will dodge out on the Burrow Charge. Will dodge out on the Impale as well. And with the movement speed from the Divine Star, is just going to be able to get to safety, as 3 damage will be dealt over to that core. 18-21 now. Scrim Team 2 in favor with 3 HP on the core. They actually got the level lead back in their favor. Not a lot about a quarter of level, but they were down half level before that play. So that was a really, really massive team fight for them to win. However, can they hold on to it? Sir Noble looking for Leo Rice. They have the root onto Kobo as well. And they're looking for Blue Abyss. Blue Abyss getting jumped upon and gets absolutely burst down. Now Goku going to gust them right back into the bell tower. Still looking for Leo Rice. The Black Hole going to split the fight up. And now with the minions, with all the poke damage, that they're able to get the Psionic Storm as well, they should be able to retake this bell tower. And now they could have overstayed a little bit, as Leo Rice just going to be jumping onto the backline, but unfortunately no heroes are going to be there. Just going to be able to get right back to safety. So it's a pick off for them, as now again the Isolate has come through onto Patience. Cawthon just going to be trading back and forth. Has the dragon, will be able to land it. So it does have a little bit more damage going on towards Patience. This is the 1v1 brawl we see over in the top lane, is in the bottom lane. They are getting started on the siege camp, but with the second drag, that should be the kill. And Cawthon able to get the solo kill, as Gen.M Esports are also able to steal away the siege camp. So the lead that Scrim Team 2 had, it's short-lived. Gen.M Esports able to retake basically on everything, get that solo kill over the top lane, and now they're looking for more. They have the taunt, they have the stun. Kurama gonna get stunned up in the back lane. Leo Rice gets rooted up. The Chastise will land, and same with the light bomb. But Leo Rice able to roll away. They didn't see it, and they're not going to be able to get that kill. But Infofox also gets taken down quite low, but so is this bell tower. At 209 HP, one auto attack from almost anyone will be able to finish it off. But the bell tower is still alive. However, heroic minion not going to be able to get it. And now with the now with the altars available, they are going to get the one on the top side, as Kobo gets the one over in the bottom side. So it will be 4 damage to 3. And actually with that, Scrim Team 2, they actually grow their lead a bit. But the taunt is going to land. Infofox looking for the aggressive play, and they do have the Sapper Camp here in the bottom lane. As now Kurama in a bad spot, but will get rescued by that leap of faith. But can they hold on? These 3 sappers are definitely going to be shoving in. Level 18 is there, Piercing Sands. And that's a pretty massive cooldown. Infofox getting jumped upon, but Ancestral Healing is there. Black Hole trying to buy some space. Sir Noble still tanking up, trying to keep these sappers away. But Sir Noble is starting at really low, 150 HP. but will survive. They will be able to at least push away the sappers for now, and they will be able to take down the third one here, and they didn't give away a single point of damage. However, Patience in the meanwhile might not be in the best spot, as Leroy is going to be jumping onto Patience, and I believe this should be a kill. There is a bell tower that way, but Patience just going to be trading out their life and will be going down. But now with that, Blue Abyss also going to get caught out, and that's going to be a 2-0 in favor of Gen.M Esports. However, they do lose the bottom bell tower for this, but at the same time, this gives the opportunity for Scrim Team 2. Cawthon going to start pushing out in this top side. This middle bell tower also going the way of Scrim Team 2 now. And now they're jumping onto Infofox. The Lightning Rod build still slowly stacking up, still slowly dealing damage as Infofox looking forward, is getting taunted. Dragon's Breath not going to be able to land. And just bit by bit, oh, that Sandblast though, absolutely getting sniped out onto Infofox. And now they're looking for this play. The middle bell tower going to get traded back to Gen.M Esports. Top one back. And we are back to an even state. Both teams are level 20. Just going to get a hit there for Scrim Team 2. And we do have some pretty interesting talents. We have the Banner level 20. We have the Censure. So have that extra little root as they are jumping onto Sir Noble. And Sir Noble will try to survive it. Actually, Korma dealing quite a bit of damage during it, but not going to be enough. It will be the bell tower. Both of them actually going over into Scrim Team 2. Gen.M Esports 8 damage. Now Kurma getting jumped upon, and with the gust, with the wind wall, Kurma going to try to back away, but the force wall into the shock ray, going to have more than enough damage to take down Kurma. And now they will be able to steal away the siege camp, and with their main tank and with their main AoE DPS gone, I don't think they'll be able to defend, although I did forget they do have their bottom right bell tower still alive. So this should get taken down here. Infofox, Kobo, and Greek Fire, especially with the help of the sappers, should have more than enough DPS to just bring this down in its entirety. But now Cawthon getting jumped upon. They do have 3 members over on the top side. They're looking for the chastise. Not enough speed there. And the Demonic Invasion going to get used up immediately as they are looking to just take this down. The sapper camp also going to crash. So it will be a trade of bell towers. Still 4 for 4 on the map. Or sorry, 3 for 3 on the map. I keep counting the cores. But now the push over in the mid lane, that's where Gen.M Esports, they are trying to shove in. Sir Noble is back alive, but there is still the wall, and that will be able to buy a little bit of time for Scrim Team 2. They will be able to get here for the defense. However, it looks like they still want to go, and they have the taunt. They have everything on it, Infofox, but the cleanse from Greek Fire going to put a stop to that play. Now, the cooldowns aren't super long, as Patience now going to be the one sent to the bot lane just to retake onto this bell tower. But the altars are spawning. It is going to be 2 altars, and if they are able to retake on this top bell tower, this could be enough damage for lethal for Gen.M Esports. Or they can take the boss as well. Both sides technically are getting close to having enough damage to just straight up end the game. As Demonic Invasion still going to be on cooldown for 30 seconds, but Patience slowly but surely going to be pushing out that lane. Top left bell tower now going to go back to Gen.M Esports, and bottom right going to go over to Patience. As now Goku, they're going to be trading 1 for 1. But now the drag is going to be there. They're looking towards Sir Noble, but they do have the defense. But the Bro Charge lands on a 3. And they have the Cocoon as well. Windwall going to prevent the fight from starting. And because it's a 1 for 1 with no fight breaking out, that does favor Scrim Team 2 because they still have Patience here in the bottom lane and will have the Demonic Invasion in about 4 seconds. But the pressure isn't there. Will be resetting. Will be hearthing back. And will be able to get back home safely. But now this is where it starts getting close. 10-6. Cawthon is watching for the boss, and Scrim Team 2, they're all up here. They are getting set up. Infofox is there as well. So it does seem like Gen.M, they know what's going on. They want to make sure they don't give a free entrance for Scrim Team 2. But this next set of altars could be it. Well, I say that, but it's only the 1 altar. But it will be a close fight here. The banner is going to get thrown out. A force wall as well from Kobo, just trying to scout out and to take down the banner. And now Infofox trying to walk forward. But again, neither side really wants to be the one to pull the trigger because it does seem like it where whoever goes first does lose. But Leo Rice getting a free camp here in the bot side. Sir Noble going to be there. They could try to trade back Leo Rice, and that might be worth it. They have the taunt. They have the chastised light bomb as well, as Goku will have more than enough damage. And that's going to be the 1 for nothing. Granted, they do lose the camp, but it doesn't really matter at this point. They're able to just clear it away. And now they could try stealing back the other camp. They could try looking for a team fight because without Leo Rice, there's a lot less damage available on Gen.M Esports. That was a big part of their dive composition. And now they are taking control of the altar here. Scrim Team 2, they're getting positioned. They're looking towards this other siege camp. Sir Noble holding onto the bush. And this could be the opportunity for them to start it, as the force wall is going to split up Sir Noble. Not the target they want. They have the taunt as well. Dragon's Breath over top. Going to poke down a little bit. But Infofox actually going to be going in and use their rewind. Look over to the backline as well, but they have the safety. Ancestral Healing is there. And Windwall going to push Kobo into the backline. Same with Cawthon. And now the fight's still continuing on. It's 4 versus 4. They have the taunt, but the isolate on Sir Noble going to prevent the fight for now. As Cawthon getting so low. Everyone is so low. But Light Bomb is going to come out and hit no one. But in the meanwhile, Kobo goes down. Infofox goes down. It's a 2-0. They're still looking for Cawthon. They're still looking for Greek Fire. They have the taunt. Do they have another Chastise? They do, and they're going to be able to land a Dragon's Breath over top. And with the Sandblast, Kurama able to get that kill. As Patience needs to finish off this top bell tower. Will be able to get it. Will get traded back by Leo Rice, but that will give that extra damage from Goku. That is going to be 5 damage going into the wall, or into the core of Gen.M Esports. 6-5, as now Blue Abyss going for Divine Star, going to get thrown out. They're just trying to zone away. They're just trying to retake as many of these structures as possible. It is just Greek Fire and Leo Rice alive on the map right now. And now if they're able to get even one of these in, they're going to be able to win the game with just the boss. But Greek Fire is going to be here, can try to defend, and a lot of the players are going to be respawning soon. So instead, Scrim Team 2, they are looking towards this middle bell tower, and they have more than enough damage. They still have 3 DPSs on the map, by the way. So here it's just going to be Kurama, as they should be able to take down this middle bell tower. Goku just going to jump over the wall, but now Infofox is in the backline. Windwall going to prevent Kobo from following up. And without Kobo, they just don't have the damage. Infofox going to use the rewind, but is getting in a really bad spot. The Ancestral Healing will come out. Part 1, and Ancestral Healing. Part 2, Infofox going to be healthy now. And now the drag does under the backline. Sir Noble does have the Light Bomb, but it's not enough. Kurama going to be done. And Isolation lands on it too. They're found one. They found Blue Abyss. Sir Noble going to be the next one. 1 HP left on the core of Gen.M Esports. As Goku gonna be resetting. Patience looking for the push on the top side. Does have Demonic Invasion. So if they are able to retake this, as the boss is getting taken down at the same time by Scrim Team 2. If Patience is able to get this, I think they do it. They win. Scrim Team 2 somehow with no one left alive. The final shot is going to be coming in. And Scrim Team 2, they take game number 1. Well, we may not have gotten the match we wanted, but we're definitely getting one worth watching, because that was an absolutely close game over on Towers of Doom. I mean, I don't know how they managed to do that, but just a little bit of extra push coming out of Patience, able to get that final little bit of damage, getting that 6th altar. And Gen.M Esports, they were on the verge of winning. If they had boss, they had the altar spawning in the bot lane. That's all they needed. They just needed that, and they would have won. But sometimes seconds matter. Sometimes decisions cannot be remade. So that will be game 1 going to Scrim Team 2. Now we're going to go to a short break, but when we come back, we will have game number 2 coming up. So don't go anywhere.
Infernal Shrines.
All right, and we are back for game number 2. And as you may have noticed, I did swap it back from Scrim Team 2 over to the High Inquisitors. That's because the team has arrived. Now, it is still going to be a forfeit. Don't get me wrong. But so it turns out what happened is just miscommunication in terms of schedule. They thought they were starting later. That's all it was. But it is still going to be the game happening here. It is going to be Gen.M Esports versus the High Inquisitors. I'm still going to give them that point. They deserved it. They had a nice win there. And it was still mostly the roster from High Inquisitors. But Patience going to be backing away there, as we are going to have Bandit and Killer Fairy rejoining onto the game. So now with that, the first few bans are going to get started here immediately. Joanna going to be the first to get banned away. And I probably should update the team, the title again. That's probably an idea. But yeah, I have no idea if this is, if they're planning on keeping the score, still continuing this as a best of 3 scrim. I have no idea, but you know what? It's fine. It's fun. At the end of the day, this is all just one big community. We're all here for a love of Heroes of the Storm. I'm here for my love of yelling at the screen while watching Heroes of the Storm, so we all have our own hobbies, and we're all here to enjoy it all together. But now they're going to ban away the both the Anduin and the Chromie from Blue Abyss and Kurama. I mean, obviously they played it super well last game. Makes a lot of sense. And they're not going to continue just banning out every single tank like they did in game number 1. Now the variant will be the second ban coming out of High Inquisitors, so 2 tanks banned from them, and Gen.M Esports going to be banning away Chromie and Anduin. It's been a while, but in a lot of games, especially over in these higher divisions, every single blonde character just kind of gets removed off the map. Chromie, Anduin, Joanna just always in the first phase, just gets absolutely banned out. What is surprising is that Dahaka was still available, and it is going to get locked in by Kurama. So they will have that pretty solid offlane potential there. As now Gen.M Esports looking for their first 2 picks, and they're going to take the Tassadar again for Kobo. and did perform quite well. A lot of damage was dealt by that Tassadar. So not surprising to see them lock that in again. However, the healer going to be different this time around. They're going to take the Stukov for themselves. And what's interesting about that is obviously Stukov commonly paired with Varian, but doesn't need to be. Still has a lot of different opportunities, has a lot of different options. But this composition is starting to look scary on the High Inquisitors. Garrosh locked in for Sir Noble. Vala locked in for Killer Fairy. That's a lot of DPS. That is a lot of frontline, a lot of playmaking available. And yet at the same time, they don't really show too much about their entire playstyle. Garrosh obviously is going to be a little bit more of a showy tank. It's not like the Joanna. Joanna has a lot of different ways you can kind of play her. You can play aggressively, you can play passively, play for peel. Garrosh wants to go in, wants to throw someone back. That's basically how Garrosh works. But, I mean, as far as it goes, Garrosh is still a frontliner, can still tank into the fray, can be used defensively as well. So, does have a little bit of option left in the draft. But now Oriel going to get banned away by Gen.M Esports, and the Anubrak going to get banned by the High Inquisitors. And that was what I was going to say earlier on before I got distracted by the Garrosh Vala pick. But Stukov pairs really well with the Anubrak. There's a lot of stuns, the bro charge into the Impale, or the other way around, depending on how you're feeling in that specific situation. It's a very strong pairing. Now, ETC is still available if they do want to lock that in. I do believe Infofox does play it, and I think can also lock in pretty well. However, they're going to go with the Diablo instead for Infofox, and Leo Rice going to lock in Zagara. If I'm still mispronouncing it, I apologize, but I'll play StarCraft 2 sometime during the offseason, I promise. I'll learn how to pronounce all these hero names. I should probably learn the lore as well. I mean, pretty much every single game that's involved in Heroes of the Storm has really rich lore, so I want to try slowly learning that. I know especially, what's his face? What is his face?
Oh, this is my jam.
I don't remember his name. He was the one that used to cast for HGC. Bahamut. There we go. How did I forget Bahamut's name? Yeah, knows all of the names of like every single boss in the game, like specifically for Battlefield of Eternity and stuff like that. I always thought it was really cool, so I want to try learning some of that myself. But getting back into the draft, Bandit gonna lock in the Kelthus, and Blue Abyss gonna lock in the Lucio, and final pick is gonna be the Sonya for Cawthon. So pretty big team fight coming out of Gen.M Esports. However, High Inquisitors, it does seem like they're more playing for the pickoff. Lucio can try picking some people off. Garrosh obviously can do it. Vala and KT are very good at following up on a single targets. So this should be a pretty fun one. We are headed over to Infernal Shrines. Gonna be a lot of fun. Gonna be a nice little bit of a brawl fest as we head into game number 2. All right, and here we are, Infernal Shrines, somewhat of a game number 2, fake game number 2 between Gen.M Esports and High Inquisitors. Obviously, Gen.M Esports have already won by default, but both teams, they still showed up. They're still here to play, and like I always say, at the end of the day, the standings really aren't going to get affected by the series, regardless of how it went. So may as well have fun with it, may as well get the practice out of it. And we are seeing some interesting talents already locked in. Krita the Hunter going to get locked in for Killer Fairy's Vala. So they will be that auto attack build. And I think that does make a lot of sense. Whenever you're into a full pure tank like Diablo, just high HP, that extra burst damage doesn't really do much from the Hungering Arrow build as they're looking for Infofox. And they immediately into the dragon. Look at that! That combo just fully CC'd. Infofox he was over here and then got dragged all the way underneath that tower, constantly perma CC'd the entire time, and that's going to be rough. I don't know how Gen.M Esports are going to deal with this. At no point in this game do they get a cleanse. That is the major weakness of Stukov. Very strong offensively as a healer. However, on the defensive side, without the cleanse, it's so difficult to protect the teammates. But what a first blood going towards High Inquisitors. And now with that, there will be a couple stacks going over to them again, as now they're looking to refollow onto that, but without the drag, they can't move Infofox quite as far back. but they do have quite a bit of DPS still. They have the pushback coming out. Chernobyl down to half HP as well, though. As Infofox with the living bomb, gonna be tanking up a little bit more, down to 400 HP. And I gotta learn, I believe it's Soundwave. Yeah, there we go. But now with that, High Inquisitors are going to be able to get the pressure. They're going to get started on this bottom siege camp, as Leo Wright's going to get started over on this left siege camp. And this is one advantage that they do have on their roster. They do have the Zagara. And Zagara is really good at just holding on to lanes, keeping a lot of pressure regardless of the situation. As now Living Bomb once again just going to get thrown out for Poke. Shockray going to land onto Bandit as well. And now I'm assuming this is going to be the same build coming out of Kobo as they did in game number 1. Just that generic build, not going fully into the Shockray as Killer Fairy. Could be in a bad spot, but able to just walk away from everything, able to dodge away. A bit low on mana, but has the well tap available, so will be in a good spot. As Leo Wright's going to help Cawthon shove in this mid lane. As the bot lane is getting pushed in, Bandit looking forward. Infofox was considering going aggressive there, but without any follow-up, it is a bit difficult. They don't have too much damage yet coming out of this Tassadar. It does need some time to scale. But now both sides do have level 4. Sir Noble able to get the Groundbreaker, as Killer Fairy will be able to finish off this siege camp on the right side. But now the push still coming in right now for Gen.M Esports over in this bot lane. Sir Noble looking for Infofox. Not going to be able to find it. Shadow Charge will come through just for Poke. And no Overpower going to get used there. Makes sense. As now the mid lane is the one that's going to be getting targeted right now by the High Inquisitors. They do have that camp pushing in. And they got the 2-1 to camps. They got the 1-0 in terms of first blood. So they do have a little bit of a lead growing for themselves. But the Shrine is going to be spawning in about 5 seconds as both sides are finishing off their bruiser camps. And Killer Fairy is a little bit low, but Blue Abyss will be able to give that extra passive healing for now. Doesn't have any burst healing really until level 10. Once that high 5 does come through. And that is a weakness of the Lucio. Does kind of want those heroics available. But now Sir Noble looking for Infofox. Going to be able to push them back. But now Infofox able to use that Shadow Charge. As Cawthon now in the middle of everyone, just kind of spinning to win. But not enough damage yet, as Blue Abyss just trading back. Hungering Arrow bouncing about as well. And so far, the lead definitely there for the Skeletons for the High Inquisitors, as they are taking more and more of this. Sir Noble looking for Infofox. Going to be able to use the Ring Ball for the backline. But again, they're just able to jump right back. And the lurking arm from Greek Fire able to prevent any kind of follow-up. I think Infofox could definitely have gone down there otherwise. And now they're still slowly DPSing. Level 7 talents now available. Sir Noble going to get stunned up. And with the spin, Sir Noble will go down. But the Punisher will go the way of Gen.M, or the way of High Inquisitors. So it's a kill for a push. But now in the meanwhile, Cawthon able to get a bit of pressure over the top side. Did clear away this wave before they did join into the fight. Now the Arcane Punisher isn't super strong without any kind of follow-up. It is one of those objectives that will just mostly be jumping and focusing on to heroes. Killer Fairy just getting a couple of extra autos and a lot of burst damage. Look at that damage coming through. As Infofox looking for Blue Abyss. Blue Abyss going to be in a bad spot, but we'll be able to just jump away a kick off of the wall. But overall, the objective didn't really accomplish too much. As now Sir Noble going to throw back Infofox, and that should be enough damage for the kill. And that's going to be the second kill going over to High Inquisitors. And a lot of close calls for Gen.M Esports. They were almost able to get a few kills for themselves, but the High Inquisitors, they're able to get that last little bit of damage that they need to make those plays work. As another Shockray just over the backline. Sir Noble looking to play aggressive. Going to get silenced up in the lurking arm, but that will be a successful steal. They will take that left siege camp. And now they can kind of take that pressure and just bring it over to the bot lane and try and take that bottom siege camp for themselves as well. And that triple camp will make quite a big difference when it comes to the overall experience lead, and could even get a little bit of pressure down onto the walls. But with Leo Rice there on the Zagran, going to be a bit more difficult compared to a different character defending. Now with that, High Inquisitors, they will be able to get this siege camp, and they will start looking towards the bot lane. Sir Noble does get a stun, but the Shadow Charge is going to come through from Infofox instead. And it is so difficult for them to finish off this Garrosh. They do rely a little bit on that burst damage and then finishing someone off with low damage, but with the armor mounts, it is going to be difficult. As now, a little bit of trading going on here, but neither side really fully engaging yet. Shocker going to land on it too. Bandit already down to half HP. Sir Noble starting to get a bit low, and with the force wall, will be able to just back away to safety, but Good trade for Gen.M Esports. They're able to take a little bit back for themselves on the top side as Kothan and Kurama going to be trading a little bit as well. But I believe overall, Kurama does have the winning matchup there. Bit by bit, will be able to just out DPS the healing that the Sonya will be able to bring out, as the right camp going to get taken by High Inquisitors. But level 10 already available for Gen.M Esports, as they have been a bit better at managing their soak, at managing their waves, despite being down a few camps. But now, Infofox is going to get thrown into the backline. The taunt is there as well. They have the stuns into the backline. But look at the burst damage. Infofox will throw out the Apocalypse, but the damage from Killer Fairy was just so high. I wasn't expecting Infofox to die there, I'll be honest. That's why I wasn't going super hype. I thought Infofox just going to back out with the Shadow Charge. That'll be it, but no big kill for High Inquisitors. Now, there's no objective spawned yet. There's nothing for them to take with it, and Infofox already back up, had the souls. So they shouldn't even be able to get too much pressure unless they're able to take down Fox again. But they have the Black Hole. They have the Maw as well. But how much can they get with it? The big burst damage. But Killer Fairy going to be able to survive that. It's so much damage coming through. But that is a 4v5. So Kothan will at the very least be able to get this wave shoved in. That'll be the gate taken down. Maybe a little bit more of this cannon tower as well. And actually getting taken down quite low. These minions are a lot more powerful than I thought, but that's about 2/3 of its HP gone. It's now Kothan going to get started on the Bruiser camp. Same with the High Inquisitors, but the Shrine is now active. And this is a pretty solid Shrine location for Gen.M Esports. This is where Leo Rice already has the tumors located, already looking for the play. Sir Noble going to get Shadow Charge. Not into the wall, but will still be there, as Kobo already starting to get a couple of early picks, and now they're looking towards Infofox. And again, just the amount of chain CC they bring out with the damage. There's just nothing that Infofox can do about it. And now they, Gen.M Esports, they do have to give away this pressure. They have to give away this area. As now both sides just kind of trying to posture for positioning. Kothan is shoving in that mid lane. A little bit of poke onto Sir Noble. The high fives is there from Blue Abyss. And Kobo is back here as well. Infofox will be back soon, but already over 30 skeletons go the way of High Inquisitors. This will definitely be their Punisher, and they're definitely going to be in a solid position to start pushing in with this. And now they're going to be looking over to the bot lane. This is the Frozen Punisher, and this time they do have Sir Noble for this push. Last time they did not. Last time they weren't able to get really any value out of it. But, I mean, look already. They're already taking down this entire bot lane wall. They're still looking for more, most likely, after that. Frozen Punisher is at around 3/4 HP. Kobo trying to DPS onto it, but it is a bit difficult. A Gravity... what? Gravity Lapse? Yeah, Gravity Lapse is going to land from Bandit, but now the Punisher is onto the backline. Now they are looking over for Infofox, and they have the stun onto Sir Noble, and the Apocalypse over top as well. Not going to find onto anyone. Swipes just pushing them into the fort, but the damage is just too high from the High Inquisitors. As now Infofox could be in a bad spot, but the Shadow Charge into the Punisher almost gets them away, but the Living Bomb coming out from Bandit, more than enough damage. And now this Punisher will get taken down soon. Doesn't have too much health remaining, but that's still going to be a lot of value here in this bottom lane. They were able to take down the fort. They were able to take down a good chunk of the second wall as well. Really, most of it. It's just going to be just a tiny little bit. 1,300 HP left in that cannon tower. If we truncate, anyway. And now over in the mid lane, they're looking over for this left siege camp. And High Inquisitors, they're just playing so well right now. Just bit by bit, just walking forward, getting whatever they want for themselves. They have the pressure. They've consistently been able to hold on to all three of these siege camps. Only giving up one in the level 1 play. And then after that, just continual dominance of that siege camp. Now, in Gen.M's defense, at the very least, they are able to clear it away pretty quickly, so they're not getting pressured too much by it. But the experience lead, that's where it's really mattering. Level 15 to 14, almost a full level lead now for High Inquisitors. And with these extra camps, I believe they will be able to get it as a full level lead there soon. Leo Rice is holding on to mid lane, and it will be difficult to push into here. Not a lot of tumor setup behind the wall. It has a little bit near the camp, so that will slow down the DPS and the repositioning available from Leo Rice. But the wave clear is still here, as Kobo is going to be coming in soon as well. But Infofox going to get thrown into the back line. They have the Maul landing onto multiple. They have the Apocalypse as well. Not going to get tied, but look at the damage. Look at the burst. They're able to get two. So Nova Blue Abyss still alive. They're still looking to get away, but Blue Abyss gets stunned into the wall and gets finished off. And Sir Noble, the frontline tank, the final survivor, but with that Wrecking Ball, Infofox actually has an angle to engage on body block. They have been able to take down the ball lane as the leap comes in. Sir Noble will get finished off, and Cawthon will be the final one to go. And sorry, not Cawthon. Cawthon is the one that did the leap, but that's a massive pickoff. Kurama is going to be the final one to go down, and it's a 5-0 in favor of Gen.M Esports. And now they're going to be shoving into this mid lane, and they should be able to take this keep. And frankly, no, I don't think they have the time to end the game, but they could try to threaten it if they want. They still have the black hole. But no, they're just gonna, well, I say settle for the mid lane keep, but this was a massive teamfight victory, a massive push. And now they're looking for this bot lane as well. They don't even have the wall taken down yet, but they are looking for this bot lane fort. They will be able to DPS it very quickly. And when you do have all those spawns, all those roaches coming out of your Zagara, it's so easy to backdoor. Huge, huge victory from that play in favor of Gen.M Esports, as now the minions should be able to finish off these cannon towers. But now the talent tier is still the same for both teams. And the Bruiser camp has already been taken by the High Inquisitors. And now they're looking over for this shrine on this middle lane. It is going to be, I believe, the Mortar Shrine. And this one is the strongest one when it comes to pushing, as the Force Wall going to be able to prevent the High Inquisitors from getting onto the point. So Bruiser camp will get stolen, but they do have the drag looking for Greek Fire. And now they're just pushing out to the top side. But look at how many they got into the Maw. Can they follow up? They have the leap over top into the Apocalypse. And they're able to cleanse them away, but Bandit's going to go down. Killer Fair's going to go down. Blue Abyss running away from Cawthon, so Sir Noble doesn't have a healer there. As Kobo looking for the shock ring, not going to be able to land it. Blue Abyss and Kurama, the only two survivors of that play. And the next Punisher is going to get started, as we do have a pause. Because you know what? Why wouldn't we? But yeah, we'll see how that goes. But whoops, I should move back there. But yeah, apparently there's just some microphone issues that one of the players did say just pause because the Maw really hurt. But yeah, we'll see. They should be able to get back in shortly. Hopefully it's not a super long pause. Most likely they just need to restart Discord because Discord's awful recently. But wow, what a play. Just two huge team fights in favor of Gen.M Esports. Those Maws coming out of Leo Rice have been absolutely winning them these team fights, winning them, frankly, putting them in a really good position to win this game here. So, but obviously, game's not over. There's still a lot of play to be done. And funnily enough, now that I'm thinking about it, they're fighting for this mid lane Punisher, but there's no structures left for the High Inquisitors in the mid lane. Gen.M Esports just pushed straight through there. So in theory, this could be an opportunity to try and end the game. However, because of how early in the game it is, they don't have a talent advantage. I don't know if they'll be able to get onto the core. But we're just going to have to see how it goes. And the Punisher is one of those objectives. You can't just let it go on its own, deal a little bit of damage, and then ignore the rest. It does need to be babysat. It needs to get pushed in, but... Okay, since I didn't start the music, it is going to be a longer pause, so let's just start the music, because we all know as soon as I do start the music, that's when the pause is going to be over. Just so that I get to have fun doing all these extra steps, and wow, my face is so orange right now. Let me change some of the lighting here. Is the white balance? Yeah. All right, there we go. Now we're good. Just had to change some of my settings there. Yeah, one of the players straight up left the game, so it seems like what originally was just a Discord issue appears to be a full internet issue. So we'll see how that goes, but yeah, sorry, I got distracted a bit there. I'm just staring at my whenever I stare at my camera and I feel like the coloring is off, I just have to update it. I should be consistent once I get my table, once I'm able to order it, and once it gets delivered, because I have my lights here. I just haven't set them up yet, because technically right now I'm just in the middle of my living room. I do have a little den that I'm planning on setting up as my office, as my casting booth. And once I start putting everything in there, then I'll be able to have consistent lighting. It'll be all nice and swell. Most likely not going to have that until Season 20 for NGS, so... look forward to that because, well, as I'm sure you're all been guessing, I'm not going anywhere. NGS has been a ton of fun for me. And I believe I have done now officially, quote unquote, a full season since I started just as playoffs were starting in season 18. And now playoffs are just starting season 19. So can officially say I've done one full season of NGS. But with season 19 playoffs coming up, I'm really looking forward to finishing that off as well. And I'm looking forward to continue casting these games next season. Hopefully we can bring more and more players, more and more teams. And I'll be sure to bring whatever action we do have, whatever teams we have, I'll be there. And I'll make sure that all of you get to watch those excellent games. But now, as an update, they are restarting the router. Hopefully they'll be able to rejoin, and then we can get going with this game number 2. But I don't know. This has been a pretty fun series. Granted, the series is officially already over, and also didn't matter even before it began, but such is the fun of esports. I mean, a lot of these players, I'd even argue most of these players, they're just playing because they enjoy it. They're just having a lot of fun with these, with the games, with the community. And I think that's really what NGS is all about at the end of the day. Yeah, hopefully the router will be able to restart soon. That's the dream. I mean, I still remember when I cast my first game after I moved. I don't know if any of you were watching that, but I had so much lag. Well, it wasn't that much, but there was like a couple moments where it was just like so bad. And then, yeah, and then I bought an Ethernet cable. And like I said, I'm in my living room right now. There's no Ethernet port in the living room, so I literally have it just like being pulled all the way from across the house just so I have Ethernet for these casts. But I mean, I'm probably going to need the cord later anyway. I had a short one already set up for the den, but I bought a long one that can go across the house. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess here, but you know what? It's a fun mess, and most importantly, it's my mess. And I think that's what makes it more fun and more bearable. Man, now the players just as an update, they are just discussing how much they hate Time Warner. So apparently it is a internet provider. I don't know. I might be too Canadian for that. Oh. Wait, what? Yeah, the person that said that was the one that was DC'd. Okay, so we should be getting started here soon. And yeah, it looks like one of the players had pink spikes, so that was the issue. So I'm going to turn off the music now. We should be able to get back into the game shortly. Just waiting on, I believe the ready checks should be coming out soon for both these two teams. Yep, first ready check is coming out. Second ready check should be out soon. Okay, yeah, we're headed in a game. But yeah, just to give an update to where we are and where we were, Gen.M Esports did just get that 3-0 team fight on top of the Punisher. So now they're going to be able to secure this for themselves. But like I said, this is a mid lane Punisher. This is the fort. This is where they keep, or at the very least, where they used to be. Because all they really have left is the core. So I'm wondering if they're going to try pushing into this core, or if they're just going to... I'm not even sure what they're going to do here. This could be an opportunity to attempt ending the game. They do have an objective with them, but they don't have any talent advantage. However, they do have pushing lanes. They have the Bruiser Camp shoving into the top side. And they do have a massive amount of waves here in the middle. And it looks like they want even more. They're just going to steal away this right siege camp. Like I said, High Inquisitors, they've had full control over these siege camps the entire game up until now. But now, Gen.M Esports are looking over to this mid lane. Sir Noble going to tank the jump or use the unstoppable there. As now the Mortal Punisher is getting onto the core. So this could be the opportunity for them to end. And it looks like they do want to try. Sir Noble looking for the fight. Got to get set up into the wall. Has the unstoppable again. Phoenix buying a bit of space. Leap into the backline with the taunt. With the Apocalypse. They're able to take down Sir Noble. Blue Abyss tanking up onto the Punisher, but will be able to survive. Kurama is still holding on strong. They're still trying to DPS him, but I think that might have been it. We went for a pause for 5 minutes to watch the last 5 seconds, and we're going to a game number 3. I mean, that would be how it goes when we do have a pause like that. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. It is 1-1 now. Gen.M Esports, they were definitely behind in that early game. They definitely didn't look super great over in that early part of the mid game, but then Leo Rice able to get 2 crucial Maws, and then Kobo and Greek Fire and Cawthon, just everyone comboing on top of that Maw. They were able to win not 1 but 2 major team fights, and with that they're going to be able to secure game number 2, and we are headed into a game number 3. And with that win, now that High Inquisitors is officially playing their full lineup, we can say that even though they did have to forfeit the series, they would have still stayed in their regular position. So end of the day, the forfeit doesn't really change anything. But with that, we're going to go to a short break, and when we come back, it'll be the third and final game for Division 8 regular season. So be back soon. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the third and final game between Gen.M Esports and the High Inquisitors. Now, game number 3 is going to be played over on Sky Temple. And again, there was a... Oh, I also realized the teams did swap sides, so let me just get that figured out real quick. Swap. And then swap and update. Modern technology is amazing. But either way, it is 1-1. And there is a little bit of a swap. So Sir Noble was the one that had the internet issues and unfortunately weren't able to fix it. So Goku is going to be filling in for the High Inquisitors for this third and final game. And the bans are going to be coming through, and Zagara banned away by the High Inquisitors. I mean, frankly, makes a ton of sense. I mean, those plays coming out of Leo Rice were just so difficult to deal with. They would have got so much value out of those Maws. But now Gen.M Esports, they're going to ban away the Falstad. They're going to ban away the Joanna as well. And I should do the prediction, shouldn't I? There we go. Boom. Get your predictions and get those channel points. I don't even remember what I have in my rewards. Maybe someone should take a look and remind me. Oh man, that was bad even by my standards. But Garage is gonna get banned away by High Inquisitors, and Greymane gonna be first pick for Leo Rice. That's gonna be a lot of extra damage. I mean, we already saw how much damage this Greymane could do before. I mean, it's super, super powerful. And I do really enjoy watching Greymane's play. It's one of my favorite heroes because any dive DPS is always so much fun. Because there's always going to be that little bit of limit testing that you have to know. You have to know the character limits. You have to know what can beat you, what can't, etc., etc. And Greymane, I think, is by far the most difficult hero in terms of that. It doesn't really have an easy way out, but if you do use the easy way out, you can no longer DPS. You can't get back in. So it's really important to be able to play those limits to their absolute max. But now Rhaegar and Sonya are going to get locked in for Killer Fairy and Kurama. As Greymane and Raynor, or as the Raynor are going to get locked in for Kobo. And the Blaze for Cawthon. Bit surprised to see the Raynor pick. But on Sky Temple, I guess it does make a little bit of sense. This is one of those maps where you don't ever need to get past the midway point of the map. You can just stay on your own half. And just as long as you're holding those lasers, as long as you're holding those temples, you'll be able to win the game. Lieutenant Morale's ban. Now, I haven't seen a Lieutenant Morale's in a while. I know there's a lot of fancy things you can do with that Medivac, especially over on Sky Temple, but isn't one of those heroes that I've seen in a very, very long time, especially used in that way. But now Gen.M Esports, they still have their next pick coming through here, or sorry, their next ban, and it is going to be the ETC banned out by Gen.M Esports. So no tanks have been picked yet, and there have been 3 tanks banned. Anubrak is still available. Gen.M Esports did like that over in game number 1, was banned away against them in game number 2. High Inquisitors could try a couple of other things. I mean, Diablo's still available. Like you said, the Anubrak's still available. And it is going to be the Diablo locked in for Blue Abyss, as Goku going to be playing the Junkrat. And now we're still waiting on the next set of picks here, but the Junkrat's going to be able to provide a lot of zone control. And I think zone control is incredibly important over on Sky Temple. Able to hold on to the map, able to just prevent people from walking up to those temples, from firing those lasers. It makes the defense a lot easier. And even if you know you're not going to be able to hold it the entire time, it does give you those extra shots. But the Stitch is going to get locked in for Infofox, the Brightwing for Greek Fire, but Stitch is definitely going to be the big one there. And Junkrat, Rhaegar, and even Sonya could be really, really good targets for the hook. Diablo does have ways out, but like we saw in game number 2, if you know that the Diablo's getting hooked, you're trying to take that Diablo, you can burst them down. You just have to have the entire team ready for it. And they've been doing pretty well on that so far. But the 10th and final pick going to be the Tassadar for Bandit. And it is going to be interesting because Kobo's been playing the Tassadar this series so far. Now it's going to be over on that other side. They're going to be in a really good spot there. And honestly, I don't think I favor any one draft over the other. I think both these two teams have very even drafts, pretty similar drafts too. So it's all going to come down to this next this third and this final game 3 between Final Inquisitors and Gen.M Esports. All right, and here we are, map number 3 between High Inquisitors and Gen.M Esports. And I would like to remind everyone, the series is 1-1. However, to use the professional term that I recommend to only ever use in the office, this game is for funsies. There has been a forfeit already from High Inquisitors. Gen.M Esports technically will get that 2-0, domination 4 points. Doesn't change anything in the standings, but it is important to note going into this third and final game. But now, with that being said, both teams going to start grouping over towards this mid lane. However, it looks like on the minimap, they want to start playing for this watchtower. And now the hook is going to land, and they found Bandit. Bandit's a perfect target, but they're going to be able to block away for that. They have the concussion mine as well, just split up the fight. But Inquisitors still looking towards Goku. Fate Shift going to come through just to give that extra little bit of healing. As now both sides just going to be able to back away for now. As Goku could be in a bad spot again, but the concussion mine able to buy quite a bit of space. Inquisitors will retake the watchtower, but first push has already begun for the High Inquisitors. They're going to be in a much better spot early on for this. And they had it in the top side as well. Kurba able to get onto the wave before Cawthon was able to get there. And now Inquisitors is going to be walking the bit of a greedy path, but I don't think Inquisitors really cares, just kind of trying to buy a little bit of time. As Leo Rice and Kobo gonna be shoving out this bot lane together. Now Inquisitors not gonna be able to look, just kind of throwing out a bunch of hearths. Those are always fun. And now they will be able to shove out the bot lane and start looking towards the siege camp. So High Inquisitors will be able to finish it off as the hook almost lands on a Killer Fairy. That was so close. Just barely out of range. The direction was perfect. But now with that, Leo Rice only just started the siege camp, so High Inquisitors, they could play aggressive, and it looks like that's what they want to do. Blue Abyss running forward, able to get the Shadow Charge on Inquisitors, and they're going to be focusing the tank again. They had it working for them in the previous game, but this time Inquisitors might be a bit tankier. Blue Abyss still staying on the point, starting to get low. Blue Abyss will go down first, as Kobo into the back lane as well. Bandit going to get hooked back and will go down. Killer Fairy trying to run away, and Leo Rice just needs a couple more hits, and with the penetrating round, will be able to get the kill. It's a 3-0 in favor of Gen.M Esports, as the High Inquisitors almost got it, but just barely didn't have the defense they needed. And Inquisitors, with that extra armor, with that extra healing, had enough sustain just to barely survive that. And it is a pretty big pain point, because I do believe if they had full souls, that would have been a win for Blue Abyss, but now the fight isn't over, or I should say fight part 2 is going to get started. Leo Rice overpowered into the backline. Bandit is there with the damage concussion mine as well, but it's actually going to be the Junkrat going down. Goku going to get focused down, and now Blue Abyss going to get hooked back, but they're not going to be able to focus up anything there. They've already used all their cooldowns. Definitely not enough to finish off the tank, but that's 4-0. Over a level lead already for Gen.M Esports, as they've also been able to finish off this bot lane wall. And now Kurama gonna be catching some of those waves, some of that experience over in that mid lane, but the first temples are gonna be spawning. And this is Sky Temple, so being able to take down anything or being able to get any damage at all is super valuable onto those points. This Killer Fairy gonna get hooked back. Kobo looking to jump forward, not going to be able to find anything there, but Killer Fairy going to get taken down to about a 3rd HP. As the temple in the top side already going to start firing. And like I was saying before that fight did break out, having that little bit of extra damage over onto the structures means the lasers will be able to start focusing on those more important buildings sooner. As another hook will land, Bandit is going to get polymorphed, is going to get forced back, penetrating round as well. But the burst just isn't there. However, Kobo might have gone a little bit too far. Blue Abyss gonna overpower Kobo back. Will be forced to jump and roll away. But again, both temples currently in favor of Gen.M Esports. But now Cawthon just trading 1 versus 1 against Kurama, just trying to buy some space. Has the extra DPS, but Killer Fairy and Bandit are here as well. Same with Blue Abyss. And the Force Wall perfectly placed. And look at that stun. Blue Abyss able to land the Shadow Charge. Kind of jumps over whatever this thing is. Gets them into the Force Wall. But now the 5 shots did land. The mid lane fort is still alive, but it is down to half HP. As now they are looking for the fight here. Inquisitors just trading with Kurama. Gonna be able to find a little bit, but not too much there. So final 5 hits will land back onto Gen.M Esports. I do believe overall this was definitely in favor of Gen.M Esports for this. But High Inquisitors, they at least got something back for themselves. As the team fight breaking up at the top side. Kurama starting to get pretty low, but so is Inquisitors. And with the healing, will be able to survive. And now they can try turning it. They have the hook back on the Blue Abyss. Shockray over top from Bandit. And just able to keep slowing them down. But the damage just isn't there. Kobo, however, is. And that's going to be the first kill going back into Bandit. 5 for 1 now for Gen.M Esports. And surprisingly, the level lead isn't that high. And I think a big chunk of that was because while they were holding on to those temples, Goku was just shoving out the bot and collecting so much soak for the team. So, despite it being 5-1, it's still less than half a level lead for Gen.M Esports. As the Bruiser Camp is going to get finished off here by the High Inquisitors. As now both sides, once again, going to get started on their siege camps. And we are going to have a little bit of a lull. And that is Sky Temple, by the way. Sky Temple in general, pretty slow played map. As Kobo jumping in onto Goku. And interestingly enough, it was perfect aim first. Gonna have that extra range, but now the team fight's starting to break out here. Infofox looking for the hook, gonna land it onto the siege camp. What are these things even called? Siege giants. Okay, that's very creative. But they will be able to secure them. Most likely, they're looking to steal it. And Infofox will be able to take that as the shadow charge canceled by the penetrating ground. Good reflexes from Leo Rice. Now, it's not going to be able to accomplish too much there, but they will at the very least be able to get that extra structure. As Killer Fairy gonna get gorged, and now it is just Kobo here. They don't have too much damage, and actually Blue Abyss could be the one to play aggressively instead. And now they have the charge. Kobo gonna get locked down a little bit. Concussion Mine not gonna be there in time. Infofox gonna get shoved into the bush, but the 4 members are here. Riptire over top into the Apocalypse. Greek Fire able to blink heal away, but that's still gonna be a kill going over towards High Inquisitors. As Leo Rice does get hit onto the wrong side of the wall, but we'll be able to back it out. The level 10s coming out clutch for the High Inquisitors during that team fight for themselves. And now Cawthon trying to push in the mid lane, and they actually were able to get that mid lane forward. Not even sure how or when that happened, but we're not going to talk about that because I don't know. But Bandit and Blue Abyss going to be able to clear away this bot side, and the next temple is now available for whoever wants to make that first move. And right now, it doesn't seem like either side really wants to make the first move. But Gen.M Esports, they do have 4 members here, as Kurama does have priority over on the top side. Cawthon going to retake the watchtower, and will come up top to just help clear away this wave. But now, Killer Fairy's already onto this point. They're going to start the lasers hitting onto the bot lane fort. And now they have the Gorge, and they're looking for the main tank. As Blue Abyss gonna get hit into the wall. They have a bunch of damage, but it's not enough. Leo Rice is here as well. Ancestral Healing will be there for on top of it. And look at the damage. Kobo gonna get hit into the backline. Rolls away, is invisible. Does have the safety as Leo Rice just free hitting that entire time. But now Leo Rice might be a little bit too far, but with the Hyperion, able to buy enough space, but Blue Abyss able to trade that back. However, in the mid lane, they're able to get 1 kill for themselves. Kurama is here, but doesn't have leap. It is still on cooldown. And now they have Infofox stunned up. They have the damage needed, and Greek Fire and Infofox both so low, but both will survive. Cawthon with a jet propulsion able to prevent any fall, but they will actually get it. The Seismic Slam has more than enough damage, as now Cawthon throws out the bunker, but not going to be enough. Infofox still here and looking for the jet propulsion, looking for the bunker play, but it's just not going to be there. Overall victory to the High Inquisitors, but very, very chaotic team fight, and that could have been so much worse for Gen.M. As Ancient Spear almost lands on Infofox, not going to be able to. Blue Abyss, however, looking to play from behind, as the hook will land onto Killer Fairy, and this could be the play, as now Blue Abyss is here as well. Gonna get canceled onto the play. Jet Propulsion lands onto 2. Black Hole trying to get Blue Fairy alive. It's not enough. Leave it to the backline into the APOC, but there's just no damage left. Goku is going to be here now, but the hook also lands on a Bandit. It's a 3-0, as Gen.M Esports are going to be able to get right back onto the temples and start dealing a little bit more damage. And who needs the temples when you have the boss? The boss camp is going to get started up by the High Inquisitors. But Blue Abyss is here. Goku's here. Killer Fairy will be up in 5 seconds, but that might be a little bit too late. But with their Ablaze out in the off. It might not be enough as Kobo finds Goku jumping on top of it. Infofox starting to get low as well, but the healing is there. Goku's really low, just trying to run away by a little bit of time, but it's just not enough. Infofox starting to get low as well. Kobo's gone. And the boss camp should get finished off here soon, but Killer Fairy is here. It's still 3v4 as Blue Abyss jumping forward, just trying to hold on to the place. And the penetrating round is able to buy enough space. Ancestral healing not going to come out in time. Blue Abyss will get gorged up. Shockray over top. Black Hole not going to be there. As with the hook, they're able to take Bandit, but Bandit will be able to back away. But that's still going to be another 3-0 for Gen.M Esports as they have the boss pushing in. Now they've already taken down this bot lane fort with the temple, with the lasers. And now it's going to be up to Killer Fairy and Bandit to defend the Hyperion. Going to get used immediately. Infofox trying to get set up for a good angle right next to Goku. Doesn't see it though. The concussion might not going to be able to land, or not going to be able to send anyone too far out of position. The bot lane wall is going to get taken down. Bandit's already down at half HP. Shockray dealing quite a bit of damage though for Poke. Does make it a little bit harder to play aggressive. Kurama using the Ancient Spear, just trying to DPS as much as possible onto this boss and onto these Siege Giants. However, it will get cleared away now, but still 2/3 of the keep gotta get taken down there. And again, this is Sky Temple. Any damage matters on any structure. It will always add up because every laser matters. And now with that, they're gonna the High Inquisitor is gonna take their Bruiser camp. The Siege camp, meanwhile, taken by Gen.M Esports, as Gen.M Esports also gonna get started on their own Bruiser camp. And now they have the Gorge, they have the APOC. I got from Blue Abyss though, gonna land on Infofox. Goku's still in a bad spot. Concussion Mine will be able to bring them back to safety. And Desert Healing has already been used though. Now Blue Abyss could be the next target, but they are able to back away in time. Riptire just gonna land onto Infofox, just trying to prevent any kind of follow-up. But that is level 16 talent advantage right now for Gen.M. They have a level and a half lead. 2 temples are going to be spawning in this next set. It's going to be one over in the bot lane, one over in the mid lane. And for Gen.M Esports, both of them will be hitting this top lane fort. As Blue Abyss looking towards Infofox, will get the stun, will get the overpower as well. But it might not be enough. The healing from Infofox and the damage from Kobo just more than enough as the hook gonna land as well. And now they're looking for Kobo. They have a little bit of damage, but Greek Fire is here with the face shift. Constant Jet Propulsion lands on a Blue Abyss. And now the Shadow Charge once again by Blue Abyss, just trying to separate the fight. But bit by bit, they're able to hook him back, able to get the damage. And the laser's still hitting during this. It is technically 4v5 here for Gen.M. But because of the power of the hook, they're able to turn the fights into a quick 4-on-1, then into a 5v4. But that still puts them out on top. They have control over this bot lane. They have control over this mid lane. And Leo Rice should be able to get the final little bits of laser there, as now 2 lasers just hitting over onto that mid lane. So the 5 lasers gonna land now, and they have the bot lane keep, and now they're looking towards this mid lane fort. This is such a good position for Gen.M to be in. And this is one of those maps where having passive pressure matters so much, because the objective itself, you always need to stand on it. And while it does deal a little bit of damage, it takes time. And now Infofox does have the Gorge. They're looking on a Killer Fairy, but Killer Fairy going to be in a good spot. Black Hole separating the fight. Riptire over top. Leap onto everyone into the APOC. And now, like we saw in game 2, but this time it's the High Inquisitors with the team fight coming out when it counts. And Leo Rice trying to back away. And with the penetrating round, will be able to buy enough space. Last few lasers are going to come out from the High Inquisitor, so at least some damage in their favor. But now what can they get off of this play? Their mid lane keep is so low, but with that fight, they were able to save it. And now they need to try and get some structures in their hands. They need to get some kind of pressure going over towards them. They have the Shockray, got to finish off the mid lane wall. But it looks like they're going to be sending in the entire team over to the top lane. They're looking for the top lane fort. And even if it is just the only objective they're able to get, it will even out the pressure in this top lane. It will even out the opportunities that the High Inquisitors will be able to get over for this next push. Because the next temple is going to be over in the bot lane. So they're going to have time to just sit in the bot lane, clear out the waves. They can catch whatever's down there, because their top lane's no longer going to be passively pushing into them. But now Gen.M Esports, all 5 members are back up. Infofox is here. Could look for a hook and will land it immediately on a Killer Fairy. And they have the force wall. They have the damage over to the backline. Killer Fairy going to be in a bad spot, trying to jump away. But the burst damage just too high. Jet Propulsion lands onto the backline as well. And now everyone that was there trying to save them. Kurama going to get hooked next and will get finished off. And everyone that was trying to save Killer Fairy just going to be DPS down as well as Leo Rice still autoing onto Blue Abyss. Blue Abyss actually charges forward. The hook almost going to land on the Blue Abyss. That would have been really bad, but even now, Blue Abyss starting to get low, going to get hit backwards with a penetrating round. Refire gets taken down pretty low by the Riptide, but that's still going to be a 3-0 for Gen.M Esports. Now they at the very least had the souls, so Blue Abyss will be back up now, but it doesn't seem like it matters. They will have more than enough damage to finish off this keep, and they have the hook onto Blue Abyss. They have the polymorph as well, but not going to be able to get the damage. Cursed Bullet dealing so much damage there. And now these next few lasers are going to be damaging immediately onto this top side. There's nothing else left besides the core itself. And actually, with the numbers down, they could look for the boss. So it would be a little bit cheeky with the current map state. However, I do think if they had full vision, they would know they could. But obviously, they have no way of knowing that. Now, Infofox is going to be hiding in the brush. Will get scouted out by Goku. Blue Abyss paying attention as well. As now the lasers are bit by bit crashing down from this bottom lane. Level 20s are available for Gen.M, but High Inquisitors, they need to fight, but the hook is going to land from Infofox. And now they have the phase shift as well. Cawthon splitting up the backline, and look at the damage onto Blue Abyss, just immediately taking down this Diablo, and Kurama gonna leap back to safety, but Kobo still DPSing, throwing out the flask, still jumping onto everyone. Kurama starting to get low, and with another hook, it will be another kill going the way of Gen.M Esports, and now they're looking towards Goku, who will be able to just jump away with a concussion mine. Will be able to get back to safety. But now it looks like Gen.M Esports, they want to try and end the game here. Leo Rice just playing forward, just trying to DPS down the totem. They have a small wave here, but the hook will land on to Bandit, and one of their main points of defense is going to be gone. It's just Killer Fairy left alive, as Desert Healing will try to come out, but it won't be there in time. And it looks like Gen.M Esports, they will be able to win this series. They have the bunker as well for that extra DPS, as now they are just finishing off Goku, and now they're going to get back onto the core. And 16-minute game on Sky Temple. They're able to take it all. They're able to take this series. And even though this game itself didn't matter, they were still able to earn their victory tonight. And with that, it is 2-1 going in favor of Gen.M Esports. Really well played for them. They deserve that. But High Inquisitors, they had some pretty good team fights over in that game 3 as well. I would have to give them credit where it's due. That was absolutely insane. And as Papa Patience says in the chat, it is time for the interview. So let me get that set up. Let me find someone to interview. Division A. So we'll have that coming out shortly for all y'all. But either way, for now, thanks for coming to this game. This was the last regular season game for Div A. So the playoffs are now set in stone. In fact, we can take a quick look at that, because it is just these teams: Crit Kickers, Under New Management, Gilly Shark, High Inquisitors, Magnitude Epicenter, Camp Pause, Won't Pause, Came From Behind, and Gen.M Esports. These will be your top 8, and these will be your matchups as well. So it should be a ton of fun to see once that does get started. But yeah, either way, there's still going to be a decent amount of games left. Unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to any of the teams that didn't make playoffs. And with every week, we're going to have to be saying goodbye to more and more teams away from that Season 19. But yeah, I'll wait for a little bit longer, see if anyone does come through for the interview. But if I'll give it 2 minutes. Oh, JK. Whenever I bring that up, that's when people join. Hello, hello.
Hello. Hi.
All right. For everyone in chat, I am joined here by Goku, who technically played with the High Inquisitors in that final game, but
I'm on Gen.M, I'll have you know. Look at the roster.
Yep, I believe. Yeah, I know, but still gotta give context where it's due. But I'm trying to think how to word this. Congratulations on your 2-0-2-1 when you were playing on the other team.
Dude, thanks, man. It was good. It was a feels good. Like everything went well. The 2-0 didn't do nothing for us. It's so good though.
Yeah, but
the 2-1. Yeah, 2-1. The scrim was good. 100%.
So I was gonna say, obviously you probably knew this going in, but this series didn't really matter anyway.
Oh, absolutely. I apologize.
No, you're all good. You're good. But yeah, with that game not mattering, did you play a little bit more relaxed today than you normally would? Was this more of a for fun, or were you still trying to get some value out of these games?
So I guess I'll speak from Gen.M here, right? We were trying different things tonight, and it seems like there might be some fruit to munch on from that. Some fruit from that tree. From High Inquisitor, ain't got a damn clue. I think we played our heart out. First game, missing like two of them. It was alright.
Well, I mean, it's still good to be able to experiment that. And at the end of the day, having an organized 5v5 is always fun. And honestly, huge shout out to you specifically for filling in so we could get this cast going as well, because I always love casting these games. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem.
But now with this, let's talk a little bit about playoffs. So Gen.M going to be in 8th place. You're going to be matched into Crit Kickers. So what are your thoughts with that matchup?
Pick and scream and fight and bare our teeth. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be insanely tough. They're an extremely well balanced team, with no real weak sides other than some apparent ones, but that may just be due to draft issues.
Now,
But
do you think it's important for your team to try and win this, or are you happy just getting into playoffs, sitting over in that top 8?
so I'm pretty sure for a while, I'm pretty sure most of us absolutely believed we were out. And then the other half of the same individuals were like, no, we got this. So we're gonna win 100%. Like we're gonna go up against crit kickers. We're gonna smack them down. What is it? 3-0. I don't know what the is.
Yeah,
It is
best
it
of
two?
fives.
Is it best of five? 3-0. No clap. Um, I guess until IE just kind of like raffles all over us. But we'll see, right?
So,
Uh,
Greek Fire has a question for you from the chat. How did it
oh yeah,
feel
yeah.
when Brightwing sprinted at you relentlessly?
Uh, fear was the only thing kind of like running through my head at that time. Uh, Also confusion, right? The real kicker was I think the Blaze curb stomping me out of thin air when we were trying to kill the Brightwing in mid. So that felt good. That felt real good.
So, one question I very, very rarely get to ask here, and probably this will be the first and only time I get to ask this on an interview. How does it feel playing against your team? Like, what was it being on the other side of that?
So, all right, I'll give it to you straight. So my team sucks. Gen.M sucks. 100%, no cap. Line that shit up. Infofox is Infofeed. He runs that shit like. Can I curse? I apologize. He runs it like no one's business. Uh, Leo's a goat. Greatest of all time. Coffin's beautiful. They're great. They're fantastic. I had a lot of fun. They did catch me off guard tonight by interrupting my mythic keystone to come and do this. So, but other than that, yeah, pretty good game against them. It was fun. I enjoyed beating them in game 1, game 2, and I wasn't there for game 2. Game 3, I was half there mentally, emotionally. I don't know.
Well, either way, thanks for the
Yeah.
answer for that. And then one final question I ask everyone for these interviews. Is there any shout outs you'd like to give? Anything you'd like to say to all your fans out there?
Dude, big shout out to High Inquisitors for still going for the scrim after the mishap with the scheduling at the end there. No shout out to my team other than Greek. Shout out to Greek. There you go. He scared me on that Brightwing, and yeah, no, it was a good time. Thanks for the cast, man. That was really awesome that you still went through with it after the game was dead in the water.
I'm here for the games. I'll cast scrims in the offseason. I don't care. I just love HOTS.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
But yeah, thanks for making sure this game was able to happen. And again, congrats on your 12201102. Hard to really say with you here specifically, but congratulations on the good set of games.
You're right. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah, you have a good night.
You as well. Bye.
And now with that, we are going to be done here. Tomorrow, I will not be casting any NGS. I will be casting over on Risen Esports with the semifinals of the Emerald Division for League of Legends. If anyone wants to tune into that, I am the color caster there for that. And then I believe I am scheduled for a game on Sunday, so you'll definitely be able to see me there. If I can just remind myself what that game is. It will be Rodney's Imaginary Friends versus Potential Scrim Thursday. And by the way, if there's any heroic game you need to watch, that is one of them. That is going to be an absolute banger match. Let me tell you that right now. Those are going to be some of the best teams in heroic. That's all I'm going to say. So if you want to watch it, definitely be sure to come by. Sunday, 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully we'll see you all there, but if not, thank you all for watching today. GreekFire1, thank you for the follow. Kralt, thank you for the follow as well. I'm hoping I'm not mispronouncing that. If I am, flame me in chat, please. And I'll see you all on Sunday. So, see you there.